Howdy everyone, and today I'll be testing out one of the first ever lenses released for Sony's E-mount APS-C mirrorless cameras, the 16mm f2.8 Pancake. As you can see, this one is silver coloured and lovely and small. In fact, on Sony's smallest cameras, it can pair up to be quite a pocketable combination. It was a mainstay of the old NEX cameras, which turned into the A5000 and A6000 series. It will work on full-frame mirrorless cameras too, the A7 and A9 series, if you're shooting in a reduced resolution crop mode, but it won't work on any digital SLR cameras. And it's rather an old lens now, with a very mixed reputation. It can be bought new for £150 or around $250 US, and you can find plenty of them over on eBay for much less money than that. You can also get an ultra-wide converter to go with it, which fits on to turn it into a 12mm lens, but I won't be testing that this time. The base lens's 16mm focal length is a very wide angle, the full frame equivalent of 24mm, giving slightly stretched corners, leading to somewhat dramatic wide-angle pictures without quite straying into ultra-wide-angle territory. And the lens's maximum aperture of f2.8 is about as bright as you could expect for a lens like this. Just about bright enough to shoot indoors or in darker conditions, and if you get close enough to your subject, slightly out of focus backgrounds. The lens does not feature image stabilization. It's a very simple construction really. It's made of metal and based on a metal lens mount. The front of the lens has a very small 49mm filter thread. The focus ring turns smoothly and is electronically coupled to the autofocus motor, so it's focused by wire. When manually focusing, it's quite responsive, although as you can see in this video footage, the autofocus motor is only averagely fast. However, it does work silently. And that's really about it for build quality. Pancake lenses are rather simple beings. Now onto image quality. I'll be testing the lens in question on a Sony a6300 camera with its demanding 24MP APS-C sensor. At f2.8, the lens is fantastically sharp in the middle of the image with just a tiny bit of colour fringing. On a tested copy of the lens, Sony had a failure of quality control though. The bottom left corner of the lens had completely useless image quality. However, the top right corner, the best corner in my tests, was a little better, but still very soft, particularly right in the very edges. Stop down to f4 for a small improvement. f5.6 is not bad, although the very edges are still pretty soft. There are further slight improvements at f8 and f11, where image quality is finally at its best. That's in the good corners. The bad corners are not looking too bad now as well. Well, corner sharpness is at its most relevant on wide-angle lenses. While the middle of your images will always be sharp with this lens and contrast is quite good, having to stop down to f11 for sharp corners is a real pain. Let's see about distortion and vignetting. If you turn off in-camera corrections, then you can see some very gentle distortion in an unusual wavy pattern. Vignetting is a problem though, with dark corners at f2.8, f4, f5.6, f8, well, you get the idea. Bad vignetting. The lens can focus as closely as 24cm, actually not very close. Trying to shoot small subjects will be a bit frustrating for you. At f2.8, there's still some sharpness close up, but there's also some ghosting and colour fringing. Stop down to f4 though, for far cleaner picture quality close up. How does the lens work against bright lights? Pretty well actually. We see some gentle flaring, but nothing too distracting. And finally, bokeh. You have to get very close to your subjects here to get out of focus backgrounds, even at f2.8. The quality of the bokeh, when you get it, is reasonably smooth, but there is a little highlighting on very bright points of light. So, how should we summarize this lens? I don't love it. A lens of this wide an angle needs sharper image quality, and there's a bit of a problem with vignetting too. Distortion and bokeh are fine, and so is the build quality, but I wish the lens could focus a lot closer for more creative photography, and Sony's quality control seems very poor. It's not the first Sony lens I've had serious problems with. But if you're happy to keep the aperture stopped down to f11, or you just don't care about corner image quality, then this could be a good little lens for you.